Hi besties, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to a new video. And before we get started, I just want to say that today's Thursday, which means that there's a new podcast episode out now. If you want to go listen to it, it's kind of like a wrap up of my favorite books of 2021 because I didn't quite do that here on YouTube, so I wanted to do that one to start the new year over on my podcast. So if you want to go listen to it, the link is going to be down below. Today I think I have one of the most requested videos on my channel, which is a guide to Colleen Hoover Books, because you guys know that she's my favorite author of all time. I've said this over and over and over again, and I'm gonna keep saying it, but I've never actually done like a guide to all of her books. I get so many questions, like I always get questions from you guys asking me like I've never read anything by Colleen Hoover, which book should I read, etc, etc. So in today's video I'm going to answer all your questions and all of that stuff. So make sure to subscribe down below and turn on the notification bell so you get notified when I upload more videos, and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so if you follow Colleen Hoover on Instagram, she posted a picture of like all of her books, all of the orders, age ratings, all of that stuff a few months ago, and I took a screenshot of that and basically did my own kind of thing. I wrote everything down on my notes app here on my phone, so that is how I'm going to explain it to you guys. But just so you know, the information that I'm giving you comes from the author herself. I'm gonna start with books that can be read in any order and that don't end on cliffhangers, so basically standalones, but I'm gonna section them off for their like age ratings. So young adult, new adult, and then another kind of like rating for like age rating. I honestly don't know if it's a joke or if it's like dead ass serious, but safe only for very mature / dark readers. So there's only 2 books in that category. But let's start with young adult because in order, young adult is 14 years old and up. So I always get questions on like what books by Colleen Hoover are young adult, because most of her books are new adult, but she does have 5 books that are young adult. So let's get to it. The first one is Without Merit. I read that book. It was very good. It's not actually a romance, like it has a little bit of romance, very YA, but it has like more important topics than romance, so that's why I liked it. Regretting You is a YA romance I loved so much with all my heart. It's so cute. I remember that I cried at the end. Amazing. I loved it. Then Heartbones. Heartbones was very good. I did not cry, but it was very good, and it had a plot twist at the end which was very shocking to me. So very good plot twist, and the whole story and concept of the story was very like well written. I really liked it. Then Never Never, which I haven't read, so I can't tell you guys anything. And then Slammed, which I'm gonna talk about the Slam series in a little bit, but that one is YA, and I also haven't read Slammed. But those are the 5 books, YA books, that you can read by Colleen Hoover. Okay, now let's get into new adult, because most of her books, as I said, are new adult. So I've read almost all of these books. So we have It Ends With Us, which is I think the most popular book by Colleen Hoover, like her most viral book. It was my first book that I ever read in my entire life. It was amazing. I've talked about it so much, but it was completely amazing. But it is a new adult book, so 18 years and older, and look up trigger warnings because it does have a lot of trigger warnings. I always say before you read any book, no matter what it is, look up trigger warnings. Then we have Ugly Love, which is my favorite book of all time. You guys know this, but it's amazing. I love it with all my heart. I read this book in one sitting. I stayed up until like 3 a.m. finishing this book. It's just amazing. I'm in love with it, and you should read it. It's just so good. It's a Friends with Benefits to Lovers. Also Grumpy Sunshine, Brother's Best Friend, amazing tropes, amazing book. The third one is Maybe Someday, which I also read. Not one of my favorites, honestly. The story is very cute, but just overall, like, it was not one of my favorites, but the writing is good and the story is good. A lot of people do love it, and it is part of a series that I'm gonna talk about in a little bit, but this is also a new adult book. Then we have Confess, which is also one of my favorite books by Colleen Hoover. Just amazing and so underrated. I know there are like mixed opinions on Confess, but for me it was one of the best books. One of the best books. So good. Chef's Kiss, I loved it. Okay, then we have November 9, which is also like one of the most popular books by Colleen Hoover, and this book has an insane plot twist at the end, which is why I think it's really good. It's a lot of build up, and then at the end it's just a huge plot twist, and it's really good. Like I loved the story, the plot twist, the ending. Amazing. Okay, next we have, I think, one of the most underrated books by Colleen Hoover, which is Hopeless. This is also kind of part of a series. I'm going to talk about it in a little bit, but it's a new adult book. It has a lot of trigger warnings, so look them up, but it's just an amazing story, and I don't understand why it's so underrated. Like, it's so good. I was so shocked. The ending, I honestly thought like the book was gonna be like a very cute book, romance book. No, but it's worth it. It's just so good. Okay, next we have All Your Perfects, which is kind of like a marriage book. It talks a lot about marriage. It's about a married couple and a lot of problems that they have in their marriage. But overall, the story is really cute, really good. It has a happy ending, and not one of my favorites, but I know a lot of you guys do love that book, and it is overall good. It just wasn't one of my favorites. Then we have LAYLA, that I haven't read, so I can't say anything, but I did start the book, and I don't know why it put me off and I stopped reading. Like, I read like 10 pages, but I didn't want to read like a psychological thriller, so I stopped reading and I haven't picked it up since. So yeah, but LAYLA. And finally, the last new adult book that we have here is Reminders of Him, which is the newest edition of the Colleen Hoover books. The release date for this book is January 18th, so right around the corner. If you haven't pre-ordered that book, please go do so. It's just so amazing. Okay, so the last like age category, I don't know what this is the one like safe only for mature / dark readers, which the books are Verity and Too Late, which are, I think, psychological thrillers, because Verity is a psychological thriller. I don't know about Too Late. I haven't read it, but Verity is just mind-blowing, but so good. Like, you guys, it's just so good. It's one of her most amazing books. It's so different. It's a psychological thriller, not so much a romance, but you kind of get everything, and the suspense and the plot twist is amazing, you guys. You need to read this book. Okay, so the next category is companion novels / retellings. So basically series that you can read. So we have the Slammed series, which is a young adult series. So we have the book number 1, which is Slammed, book number 2, which is Point of Retreat, and book number 3, which is This Girl. So those are the 3 books in the Slam series. It's a YA romance, I think. I haven't read the series, but it is very highly talked about, so this is a YA series that you can read. Then we have the Maybe Someday series, but this series is a new adult series, so 18 and up. So we have book number 1, which is Maybe Someday, book number 2, which is Maybe Not, and book number 3, which is Maybe Now. I have read the first book, as I said, liked it, not my favorite. So the last category in the guide, and I quote, "The series below ties 2 unrelated books together. Hopeless and All Your Perfects can be standalones, but they should be read in the order below for the final novella to make sense." So I'm gonna give you the order right here so you can see. So first, you should read, if you want to read them in order, you know, you should read first Hopeless, then Losing Hope, then Finding Cinderella, then All Your Perfects, and lastly, Finding Perfect. So you guys, those are all the books, but as a bonus, I'm gonna give you like my top 5 recommendations. I'm gonna give you 3 new adult recommendations and 2 YA recommendations to start off. If you want to start off with young adult, I think you should read Regretting You and Heartbones. Those are my two favorites. Amazing books. And for new adults, I think you should read It Ends With Us, obviously, Ugly Love, my favorite book, and lastly, I would have to say Reminders of Him, that is coming out, so go pre-order it. But those are like my top books. I hope I helped you guys kind of understand a little bit more the Colleen Hoover world, because I remember that when I first started reading her books, I was so lost. I honestly did not know anything. Thank you all so much for watching, and stay tuned because on Saturday I'm gonna be posting another vlog for you guys so you can see. And yeah, that is going to be the video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe down below and turn on the notification bell, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.
Oh, corks and bottles ready to pop out. Oh, no more crying. We are knocking out another year of new loves.